Welcome on in, guys. Tobin here with you. Thanks for checking out the channel. Miami Dolphins draft in the books, dude. They wrap things up, and the only thing that I know is that I am delighted because they have signed some undrafted cornerback that just goes by the name Storm Duck, and I just need this dude to make the team. I was reading in Barry Jackson's tweet that they gave this guy like extra money to make sure that they got him. And how could you not blame him? Like, Storm Duck? Dude. What? I absolutely need this guy to work out. I need it in my bones for Storm Duck to work out for the Miami Dolphins. Hey, look, undrafted cornerback. Worked out pretty good with finding Kader Kohu. Worked out for Nick Needham. Seemed to have a little bit of a nose for this. So I'm excited about that simply because of the name. I give you that. But hey, if you're hunting after the guy that much, if you're going duck hunting like that, and you're giving extra dough to make sure that he gets there, pretty exciting. But I was reading some of the things, some of the draft guides that came in. Not many gave the Dolphins an A. The only one I saw is Warren Sharp. He gave the Dolphins an A. He loves the Dolphins. He really does. He's always pushing back for, Tua and this team, and they're I think he said that they had like the second best value board in his mind. A lot of the Dolphins grades that I saw, they're very confused by the Chop Robinson pick, which I have found weird that they're confused by it, because first of all, the Miami Dolphins, there's not a lot of positions guys can come in, boom, like right away rookie year, guys are going to be perfect, and even the guys that you love now, like, weren't perfect players in their first year. And Jalen Phillips is like a perfect example of that. Like, how many times did you see Jalen Phillips get stuck in the belly button of a giant tackle his first year, comes back his next year, the guy looks like the absolute incredible Hulk, and becomes, the guy that we all think is going to be the next star pass rusher of this league when he gets healthy. I don't know. But I was like reading in Barry's column, he's got this CBS, Chris Trapasso. I like many of the prospects the Dolphins pick, but their plan was somewhat confusing. Robinson, edge one, sensible. Paul is the opposite of a scheme for what McDaniel asked for his blockers. Jalen Wright is a rocket given space, which is fun, but now the running back room is super crowded. Yeah, this was one of the ones that I found very odd. Like, the Dolphins draft Jalen Wright, who feels like he's going to be a fan favorite because two things. I love the fact that his tweet is immediately after he gets drafted, they done f***ed up. I love that. I love the fact that you have a couple of guys who feel very disrespected in this draft. He's one, and then Mo Kamara is the other one, because he was talking about how he was angry the fact that he dropped to the 5th round. So I like the fact that you have a couple of guys here who feel very slighted, because everybody was looking at these running backs and saying, well, this guy is really looked upon as one of the better running backs in the entire draft. He's an amazing, pass protector, fast as hell, but you already have Devon Achane. What gives? And I'm thinking to myself, the Dolphins have a starting running back who's going to be, 32 years old, dealt with injuries already last year. Jeff Wilson's a nice running back, but it's just crazy about it. Like, they've very clearly he's their third running back at best. Maybe the only guy that you really look upon as angry. Chris Brooks, was injured last year, a lot of last year. He showed like a couple of runs that got people excited, had a nice preseason where people were excited, but has he done anything to really like take the death grip of it? I don't understand people being upset about the Dolphins trading a 3rd round pick next year to jump into the 4th round to get another running back. Seems strange to me. Like that's a weird one to be, to have any strange feelings about, but I was happy about it because the dude is again a rocket. He is super fast, like the writer said. He is in fact also, maybe that could be his name, I don't know, because he's looking for a new nickname. His dad called him as a kid the Cheetah, and he was telling the reporters that obviously I need to get a new nickname. He wants to go with maybe Lightning or Flash. I'm going to tell you right now, dude, you can't be Flash. That's Dwayne Wade's. I don't make the rules. It's just you're in the wrong city for that nickname. You can't go with that. Lightning, I'm okay with that. I would just, I would stick animal themed. Maybe we could go like with, I don't know, we got to think of a fast ass animal that's not a cheetah. Fast Mako shark. I don't think enough people know the Mako shark is really fast. I don't know. We'll figure it out, dude. We'll find you another fast animal. The point is, you can't be the cheetah. Flash, it's already taken for Miami. So I don't know what to tell you, but I do know, very excited to see what the guy can do. And then Mo Kamara, same thing. Like, the guy feels disrespected. He was, fourth in the league and fourth in college football in sacks last year. Second fastest 40 time behind Chop Robinson. Him and Chop Robinson are already working out together. Have already been, in the workout room together. So that's kind of goosies. I love that. The fact that they're sitting here, they're already coming together and making this happen. So I'm excited about it. Now, look, it's a little bit confusing, I get, because we're all sitting here with the Chop Robinson thing. We're like, hey, sacks don't matter, except with Mo Kamara. They do matter because he had a ton of sacks and he was really good at sacks. But everybody's looking and they're like, these two guys were really, really talented. They dazzle with their metrics. Dolphins very clearly love fast players. I'm trying to, figure out what the problem is. I don't really understand. And the other thing is I get, I find a lot of this stuff strange because we really don't know. It's one of these things where, like, you feel like you have these great ideas of guys and their measurables and how exciting they are. And, some of them, like, who would have thought in the world Andrew Van Ginkel would have turned out to be a better football player than Deion Jordan, right? You go and look at everybody's like, oh my God, Deion Jordan, he's going to be the next Jason Taylor. He's going to be crazy. All he does is put a little bit of muscle. Then he takes steroids, which you're not supposed to take those jokes seriously, dude. And then, it just turns out, doesn't work out, right? Colossal failure, one of the Dolphins' all-time busts. Andrew Van Ginkel, all-time intangibles. We're crying because he's leaving by the end of the year. We don't know. But I do know that I dig a lot of these guys' stories. What else we got? Pro Football Focus. They gave Miami a B-. Robinson can be considered much of a reach. His potential is undeniable. He has the dimensions of power and speed. He earned a 93.9 pass rush grade over the last two seasons, which ranks second among FBSs behind the Colts. Latu. All right. I mean, I don't see what the problem. That was another thing that was weird. They're like, oh, he's got to turn into a power rusher. I'm like, he's 21. Give the kid a second to get in the damn weight room. You don't think he's gonna get strong? Like, of all the things you don't think a kid's gonna get better, you don't think a kid is gonna get stronger? Like, that was a weird one to me, where everybody's sitting like, hey, a guy's not gonna get faster. If a guy is, a bit lethargic and a little bit slower, and not fleet of foot, not much you can do about that unless he's got a bunch of pass rush moves up his sleeve. Getting stronger, I'm like, I'm pretty sure a kid could hit the weight room and get a little bit stronger and learn some things. And this sounds like it's going to be a pretty fun pass rush room now, because you think about, you got Chubb and Phillips, who are BFFs, and now you have the two young guys who are friends, and now you got like this tandem that's coming up together, and it's a little exciting. It's a little exciting. Everybody knew that the Dolphins were going to have to go on this year. We were all worried about what the passers would be. Will these guys make an immediate impact? I don't know, but that clearly was a need that was addressed. And look, quite frankly, and you got you brought Shaq Barrett in as like a little bit of insurance with a vet presence. Maybe he can give you, a Melvin Ingram type run early in the season. I don't know. But I mean, pass rush was a huge need for the Miami Dolphins. It was, especially with the murkiness of the injuries. This was Chris Greer. Chris Greer was asked about the idea that the Dolphins took players that can't help them win now.
We don't really worry about what other scouts and other people say. It's about dealing for the Miami Dolphins and how we feel, where the player is at this stage and what he needs to do to develop as a player and what he can contribute and do. And we're always talking about how we think the player fits in and what he can contribute this year, possibly. There's no guarantees or absolutes, but we feel strongly in the players and believe in them. And this isn't, we're still trying to win this year. This is not about worrying about 2-3 years down the line. We're all about having the best team possible to win games this season.
All right, so pushes back, bucks on the trend that, hey, we got guys that can't help. I think the one that obviously you look at, it would be Patrick Paul, because people think that he is going to need to. He doesn't really have an obvious position right now. He's a tackle, and Chris Greer said as much. But this is another thing where it's like, yeah, part of the draft is stocking up on guys that are going to take the passing of the torch, and you bring him in here, and yeah, maybe he doesn't start week 1 for the Miami Dolphins, but it's Teron Armstead. Maybe he'll start week 6. Now, everybody's saying about his fundamentals and things like that. I don't know. Look, you guys can watch the film. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some friggin' expert by watching, 3 minutes of film on some Dolphins Twitter account. I don't know. Guy's ginormous. I know that. What did they say? He took up most of the hallway. He can not have to be perfect and yet stay in front of dudes, and you see how crazy some of the pass rushers are in this league. Maybe that is enough of what you needed, and he's going to have some good mentoring, right? They said like Teron Armstead's probably the perfect guy to have here and teach and give advice and learn some things from. So I don't know. I'm not trying to blow smoke up your ass for every single pick. I just think that the first couple picks I was fine with. The everybody does seem pretty fired up about the back end of the draft. I think day 3 everybody was like Jalen Wright, pretty awesome. Kamara, very awesome. People also very excited out of Virginia. Malik Washington got everybody excited as well. So I do think that the back end of the draft, everybody always loves a hidden gem, right? Because it's like the front end of the draft, you're like, all right, don't screw this up. But then the back end of the draft, you're just like, oh, hidden gem? Yes, Mike McDaniel very clearly has a fetish for speed and people named Jalen, which is cool. No kink shaming here. Whatever floats his boat and gets his coach mind flowing, we're all for. We're all for making Mike McDaniel excited and getting him ready. But this team very clearly loves speed. That is what they love. And he also, McDaniel pushed back on the idea because there was at one point he was asked this weekend about the Dolphins being too speed obsessed, and that the Dolphins, like, just because players are fast doesn't mean that they can't contribute and aren't good football players.
It's interesting to me that that a component, the fast guys that we have on our football team. Yes, we like the fast guys, but it starts as football players, and there's a lot of football players we like, and when we have opportunities in different areas of the draft, it's our starting point isn't speed, but covering space in a limited amount of time, how fast you play on the football field. When the opportunity presents itself, when Chris asks if you want to trade for Tyreek Hill, you do that. You draft players because they're football players, and if they're fast, that's cool.
Yes, and also that's my favorite thing. I love fast guys, which is fine. It's okay to love the fast guys. Who doesn't love the? Hey, did the Dolphins lose because they were fast, or did they lose because of injuries at the end? Was it a lack of toughness? Are you equating that to guys just being too fast, and so you want a bunch of lethargic 6'5" guys that are all over the place? I think there was some big misfortune. There are definitely some things the Dolphins have to clean up, him included, by the way. Big year for Mike McDaniel. And if things do go poorly this year, bet your ass, year 3, there's a lot of expectations on him. He's got a huge year in front of him. But I don't equate to, hey, this guy runs a 4.3, also he can't stay healthy. Now, Devon Achane, not the biggest dude in the world, although he did look hulked up and swole. I did love those pictures that were coming out of Dolphins camp for phase 1. And, we'll see. But they clearly have a philosophy. They like really, really fast guys. And that could be a tiebreaker. You take the two fastest. You take one of the fastest running backs who's running a 23.7 with a GPS, which even Tyreek Hill is like, what? He ran what? And you have the two fastest edge rushers in the draft. Like, it's not even just something that is now an offense. I'm cool with it. That's his philosophy. People, I think that as a coach, like, you got to respect it. It's just on him. Like, how do you put this all together and make it work? But I don't know. Draft wrapped up. Thought it was pretty fun. I think there's some pretty cool dudes that the Dolphins drafted. I'm excited to see them and see who makes the team. And I graded an A.